Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy, Golden Falls, Golden What If, whatever you want to call me, and we are back with a new What If. What if Naruto was trained by Master Roshi? And I'm not going to waste too much of your time, we're just going to get right into this. Alright, for starters, before Naruto's birth, obviously everything's going to go exactly the same. Nothing much will really change in that. But I will say, before he goes to the academy and all that, he's gonna basically have that scene where he goes and he sees Hinata being bullied, and like he goes and tries to help her, tries to fend them off, and obviously he does his clone jutsu horribly and fails it, and then gets beat up. But in this scenario, he doesn't just get beat up; he gets thrown into a moving river, and a flowing river, and he starts just not being able to swim very well. He's like trying to get himself back up, and he's going down the river at super fast speeds, and then he just like passes out from lack of oxygen, and then he sort of wakes up, and he feels something tugging on him, and he's like moving through the water still, and he's like, what's going on? And he peeks his head out to breathe. He goes, what? And he looks, and it's a turtle. A turtle's got him, and he's taking him away, and Naruto kind of starts panicking. He's like, what's going on? Like, I've never. And then he hits an island, and he's like, whoa, what the? And he turns, and they're just a lone house on an island. He looks at the turtle and is like, I don't know how you did it, but thank you for saving me. And the turtle looks at him like, obviously Naruto's not expecting a response, but turtle goes, no problem, kid. What's your name? And Naruto's like, what the heck? This turtle just talked to me. And Naruto's like, you can talk? He goes, yeah. What's your name, kid? And Naruto goes, Naruto Uzumaki. And the turtle basically is like, you can just call me Turtle. That works out. And then the one, the only, the old geezer, Master Roshi, comes out of the house, and he's walking out with his cane. He's like, what's going on out here? He's all confused, and the turtle's like, oh, I found this kid, and he was just in the water, and he looked like he was drowning, so I grabbed him and swam him to the house, or to the island, and Master Roshi's like, oh, what? And he's like, kid, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm okay. And he's like, kid, what's your name? He goes, Naruto Uzumaki. And Master Roshi looks at him and goes, and in his head is like, this kid might have some potential. And he asked the kid, he's like, have you ever trained before? And Naruto was like, yeah, I have a little bit. I want to become strong so that everybody in the village can recognize me. And Master Roshi looks at him and kind of gives a slight nod and goes, look, kid, I will train you. All you have to do is bring me a nice dirty magazine. And Naruto looked at him like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you know what I'm talking about, kid. And Naruto thinks for a second, and I remember seeing like girls on a magazine in like this store before, but he can't remember exactly. And Naruto's like, I'll have that done super fast, believe it. So then Naruto obviously just goes, swims off, and it takes him a little while to swim obviously back to shore, but he swims off, and he's like trying to, kind of like skeptical about like if this person's actually strong or not, right? Like, is this even worth it? But he's like, whatever, like, I'm just gonna go and do it. He's like, I have to get stronger anyway, so he's just swimming off. And then he gets there, and he's looking for a dirty magazine, and he's like, oh, I found one. It's like in this store right here. So he goes, and he's looking to buy it, and the same thing, kind of like in canon when he went to go grab the mask and like buy a mask, happens. Like, the person kind of is like, you stay away from my store, like, don't come anywhere near this store. And he like pushes Naruto out, and he's like, you really want this? Here, just take it, just never come back. And he just chucks the magazine at Naruto's face, and all you hear is like a bow. And he's like, oh. He's like, gosh, like, dang it, man, like, He's like, all right, thank you. And he just kind of just runs off. Like, obviously Naruto at this time is like confused at like why they're even treating him that way. So he begins to run off, and he swims over to Kame house again, and he finally gets there, and he's like, pervy old man, I got this for you. And he goes, oh, my name's Master Roshi. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And Naruto gives him it, and Roshi opens it and just starts bleeding out of the nose profusely, just bleeding out of his nose. He's like, oh, you did good, kid. And and Naruto's like, yeah, whatever, pervy Roshi. And he's like, it's Master Roshi. And he's like, yeah. And then Naruto goes, so you'll train me, right? And Master Roshi was like, yeah, kid, a promise is a promise. And Naruto's like, believe it. So in the beginning, they do simple training. Like if you have ever watched Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball, they do like milk jug training and stuff like that. Like they carry milk jugs and they'll run up staircases. And I feel like Naruto will do something in the same vicinity as that. He'll probably start out at that, but then Master Roshi will realize, okay, this kid might be pretty strong, so I feel like I can turn it up a bit. So he gives Naruto the turtle hermit, like, you know, weighted like back thing or back plate, and he begins training in that, and also training Naruto like basic combat, like basic martial arts, and like, you know, everything Roshi has learned all his life, basically teaching him all that. And Roshi realized, like, this kid, like, he definitely has a lot of potential, but I feel like he's basically thinking like he can't control himself properly, like he can't control his ki. But obviously Roshi doesn't know it's a little different, and Naruto's basically using chakra. So but Roshi thinks, oh yeah, like he can't use his ki properly. So and like, just a forewarning, ki in this, we're gonna basically use it kind of like a more potent chakra, so like a stronger version of chakra. But alright, that's neither here nor there. So basically, Naruto's like been training for the past couple days, and Roshi looks at him and goes, listen kid, we need you to be able to control the inner spirit of yourself. And Naruto's like all confused, like, what are you talking about, pervy Roshi? And he's like, dude, I told you it's Master Roshi. It's like, yeah. And then he's like, you have to control your ki. And then Naruto's like, what's ki? And then Roshi's like stunned. He's like, what? This kid doesn't know ki? He goes, ki's basically like your inner focus, the power within that allows you to do special things with your hands, with your feet, with any part of your body. And it's like this mythical like power that's within you. And then Naruto's like chakra. Roshi's like, what the heck is chakra? And Naruto's like, you don't know what chakra is? And Roshi's like, whatever, it's the same thing. And he's trying to tell him like it's the same idea. Let's just call it chakra then. And Naruto's all like looking at him all confused, like whatever. So they basically for the next couple days start doing meditation. Just meditating and trying to get Naruto to like focus and have discipline. So basically this allows him to control his ki a lot better, or chakra a lot better in this stage, right? And Roshi's basically telling him like, you have to just focus on one thing, just relax and focus. And they just did meditating and more meditating. And honestly, I would say that this training leads up all the way until he goes into the academy. So he learns ki control, and I'm gonna say he learns flying. He can fly, but obviously nothing crazy. Like, he can't like fly at super speeds by any means, but he can control his ki to the point, or / chakra to the point where he can fly, right? Just like how in Dragon Ball Z and how Master Roshi can fly, right? And the day before Naruto actually starts going to the academy, Roshi's telling him that like he's been doing great, like his ki control or his chakra control is getting a lot better. And Naruto's kind of like, wait, what? You said I could do amazing things with like my hands, like shoot beams or shoot blasts, like what about that? And Roshi goes, oh yeah, let me show you something. And Roshi calmly gets in a stance and cups his hands and goes, Kame, ha, me, ah! And this blue beam just comes shooting out of his hands. And Naruto's like, whoa, that's crazy. How do you do that? And Roshi's like, I've been training to do that technique for a long time. It's a technique that I learned myself and I made up myself. He's like, it's a very technical technique. I'm not sure if you'd be able to do it off the bat. And Naruto cups his hands and he's like, oh, I want to give it a shot. And he goes, me, ha, me, ha. And a weaker beam, but a beam does come out, and Roshi is just shocked. He's like, this kid is basically a prodigy. What is this? And he looks at it, and Naruto's like, I did it too. You saw that? And Roshi's like, yeah, I did. That was amazing, kid. He's like, thanks, pervy Roshi. And then Roshi's like, dude, how long have I been training you? And you still call me that? He's like, yeah, whatever. And basically Roshi teaches him that he can do that with like smaller ki blasts too. That he can just shoot ki blasts out of his hand if you do the basic concept of what he did there. So Naruto can actually shoot like small ki blasts. Obviously he doesn't have perfect ki/chakra control right now, but it's definitely getting better. But one thing that Roshi found like very odd was that his ki would like spike, like would spike out of nowhere when like he began to struggle, or like he would reach his limit in the training. His ki would like spike but then go right back down. Roshi obviously doesn't know exactly what that is and what's going on, but he's definitely curious about it. Well, beyond that, we're gonna have Naruto going to the academy now, the start of the academy. And I feel like at this point, it would roughly go to canon. You gotta realize Naruto, like, even with this extra training, he's not the smartest lad. Roshi's really not the smartest person, so it's not like Roshi can really teach him that much. But he will be training with Roshi, so his physical, like his physique, his like martial arts, aka his taijutsu, would probably be a lot better in this scenario. So I'm gonna say that just like in canon, he can't do the clone jutsu, because you gotta realize he might have good ki control, and yeah, it's like a more potent chakra, but like he still fumbles with his ki, and like I said, he's not the smartest person, so he doesn't really study very much. So I feel like he struggles with that, right? But progressively he does get better, and toward the end, for the exam, he actually does pass the exam. So I'm gonna say that he passes the exam, not like in canon, but everything else basically canon, right? But we still have that the whole part where sorry about that. Well, so basically where I was left off was the whole Mizuki thing. I feel like it would still probably happen, but it would happen under different circumstances. So I feel like he would convince Naruto that, like, if he does this, that he'll become way stronger, and that the villagers will like recognize him. Because you gotta realize right now he's still obviously not recognized by the villagers. Yeah, he might have Master Roshi that like pays attention to him and like trains him and stuff, and he's kind of like that father figure, right? But he still like wants the attention of the villagers. So I feel like he still would grab the scroll and take it and learn Shadow Clone Jutsu, and we would still have that whole sequence of Iruka Sensei coming out and like yelling at him like, Naruto, what are you doing? And then Mizuki like basically throws a shuriken at Naruto, and Iruka Sensei protects him, and that whole sequence where he's like, if you hurt Iruka Sensei, and he like all the shadow clones come up, he's like, I'll kill you. But in this, like, my boy Mizuki gets bodied, bro. He gets hard bodied. Think about it, bro. He has Ki Blast now, the Kamehameha Wave, like, and he's mad. Oh my god, he about to get bodied. And all the Naruto clones shoot a Ki Blast at him. Like, obviously, it's not a super strong Ki Blast, but all those shadow clones, bro. Boosh, and it basically kills Mizuki. He's like laying on the ground like half dead, bro, or 75% dead. So basically then the whole sequence with Iruka happens. Obviously Naruto already passed the exam, so he doesn't need to like whatever get the headband and stuff like that. But he does get respect from Iruka Sensei. Obviously Iruka Sensei cares about him a lot. And yeah, that whole sequence happens, and we can go straight into the training, or the formation of Team 7, right? So I feel like the same thing in canon will happen. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, this is gonna change this. No. I think we'll still have Sasuke, Naruto, and Sakura. I feel like you can't really change that because Naruto has the Nine Tails, and the whole point was like for Kakashi to watch the Nine Tails and for Sasuke to eventually be able to like tame the Nine Tails, like if need be, right? So basically the same thing happens there, and Kakashi basically tells them to meet at the field. Make sure not to eat food, like eat any dinner. I think that's what he said. Don't eat dinner. And yeah, wait, or was it breakfast? Don't eat breakfast? Yeah, I think so. I think it was breakfast, but don't eat breakfast. And that day before that, Naruto actually goes to Master Roshi and basically tells him like, oh, like I passed, like I'm finally a genin, like I'm a ninja now. And Master Roshi's all proud of him, and he's like I'm really proud of you, and to celebrate, I want to teach you a new technique. And he's like, whoa, no way, are you serious? And he's like, yup, I'm gonna teach you a new technique. So he's like, what are you gonna teach me? Like what is it gonna be? Like what type of technique? Sorry about that. We got background noise for some reason. So basically Roshi's like, I'm gonna teach you a new technique, and Naruto's like, oh no way, this is gonna be sick, I can't wait. And he's like, this technique is called the Thunder Shock Surprise. And he's like, what? Like, you're kidding, right? And he's like, no, I'm not kidding. Here, let's spar, kid. So they decide to do a light spar. Obviously Roshi's holding back a lot, and they're just sparring initially, and then Roshi goes, Thunder Shock Surprise, and it basically shocks Naruto, and he's like, you know what I mean, like, but he's stuck in place, he can't move, and he's like, what the heck is going on? And then Roshi for the next couple hours tries to teach him the basics of it, and he basically tells him like, obviously you're not going to get it down right away, but it's a really good technique for paralyzing your opponents, and I feel like in the future it could come in handy. And Naruto's like, yeah, definitely, thank you so much. And he basically practiced it, but he can't really get it to, like, you know, on far distance. He can only get it to about like 1 to 2 feet. So he has to be like right next to the person because he hasn't mastered it at all. Like, he barely is learning. He's very novice to the technique. So yeah, then after that, obviously he gets back home. He when he goes to sleep, he wakes up, doesn't eat breakfast, and then goes out to the field with Sasuke, Sakura, right? And they're basically waiting for Kakashi. Like, Kakashi, my boy, always late. He is always late. Like, my boy needs a clock in his Sharingan, bro. I swear. Nah. But, so basically, they get to the field, and they're just waiting for Kakashi, and they're just talking like, yeah, like, what's gonna happen? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, Kakashi, for one, is, like, late, and, like, what are you gonna... And then he just poofs, and he goes, oh, sorry, guys. There was a lot of traffic. And they're all like, whatever, dude. Like, whatever, Kakashi. And he's like, alright, so listen, this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing something called the bell test. You see these bells on my side? That's how you're going to pass. If you don't get a bell, I'm going to send you back to the academy. And everyone's like, what? Are you serious? You're going to send us back to the academy? And then Sakura, my bad, it's on me. Sakura basically says, but there's 2 bells. And he goes, I know. That means one of you will be going back to the academy no matter what. And everyone's like shocked and like, no way. And then Kakashi goes, okay, you have till the end of the day to get these bells off me. Are you guys ready? And I think that's where I'm gonna end it off. Little cliffhanger, not gonna lie. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you so choose, of course you don't have to, please comment a suggestion, your favorite thing about this part, this what if, what you think about the what if so far. And yeah, if you have any suggestions for any what ifs you want me to do in the future, or maybe even during this what if, leave it in the comments below and we'll see what we can do. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, peace out.